Welcome to Extra Holes. I'm John Adams along with Scott Ainsworth, and welcome to our podcast. A podcast with two random golf fans who have been lucky enough to play in some national golf tournaments but enjoy the odd story in the 19th hole with the guys and gals. We're here to talk shop about what's happening on all the tours in the world of golf. Scotty.
Thank you, John. Well, as usual, we have a lot of great topics this week. We'll start off with the PGA Tour, but there's several other topics that I'm really looking forward to diving into and kind of warming up the subject because it's been pretty chilly here in the Twin Cities. So why don't you start us off and with what we're going to talk about, and I'll dive in from there.
Yeah, as you said, topics on the table. We got Berger winning up in Pebble Beach, hitting a clutch 3-wood on 18 to secure his win. Rulings. Are you a fan of missing golf shots on a weekly basis? And do you tune in to watch, rulings being done, getting educated about rulings? I'm not a fan. I said, are the range finders needed on tour? That's something that Scotty and I will indulge into. And we'll review this week Hogan's Alley at Riviera, a legendary venue with 8 out of the top 10 players in the world to hit the iconic Riviera Country Club. Scotty, let's get it started with Pebble Beach.
All right. So last weekend, always one of my favorites. I think for anyone that's either a golf fan or not a golf fan, just watching the views and the vistas and listening to Jim Nance describe, the Monterey Peninsula is always fun to watch. A little bit different this year. They only played 2 courses. They played Pebble, of course, and then Spyglass Hill. And Daniel Berger, you alluded to the 3-wood that he did earlier. It was a hell of a shot. Great eagle, deserving champion. Oddly enough, he missed the cut the week before at Waste Management. So, it's hard to say he's been in good form, but he's, what do they call it, Johnny? He's part of that new young breed that he's bred to win, and he's going to have more victories in his future.
Yeah, I totally agree. And it's not your typical golf swing. It is a little bit different too, but I'll tell you, he's strong at impact, and he loves it when it gets windy, and he can play in all conditions. And I think actually maybe secured or really close to getting himself on that Ryder Cup team for this year.
Yeah, that's a good point. That Ryder Cup team is going to be interesting because Stricker gets so damn many picks, but it'll be interesting to see if he uses them. But one of the guys who's, not to jump away too much from Berger in what he did, but Ricky is not even so his ranking is like 66. He's not even going to be in the match play in 2 weeks down in Florida.
And the Masters also. That's another one. I don't think he's going to, unless he wins or comes in the top, top 2 or 3 here in this little, he's playing up at Riviera. But, he really hasn't had the best record in California, even though he's from California. So,
right.
But, I think Ricky in the mix is actually good for golf, just like it has been for Spieth. I think Spieth being in the running here the last 2 weeks and having the lead going into the last round in the last 2 weeks has actually been really good for golf because, look at everybody has some type of demon maybe that's in their golf game. And I'll tell you, he's experienced some scary stuff but he's hung in there and he's grinded it out. And I think he's done a hell of a job to get back on the right side of things. But now you look at it is the new demon that he can't finish. I don't know.
I don't think so. That is a good question. But after watching the last couple of weeks and after his pressy on Saturday last weekend, he said, I said, hey, what are you expecting to win? He's like, he said, I'm still, this is kind of, even though it's not new to me, it's new to me lately. And he said that he was not going to expect to hit every fairway, every green. He was going to take the day as it came. And I think he did that. He got off to a poor start, but then, worked his way back in it. And it was fun watching him and Berger on Saturday. I wish that Berger hadn't, shit the bed on 18 Saturday and made double, because then they would have been paired again on Sunday. And those guys are buddies and whatever. But Spieth coming in was kind of anticlimactic because Berger was ahead of him and, obviously eagled the last hole. But it was sure fun on Saturday to watch Jordan make that deuce on 16. Did you get to see that shot?
Yeah, it makes deuce on 10 too on Thursday. He had 2 deuces on 2 good par 4s. So,
right.
But again, I think we look at it, right, and I mean the guy can chip and putt with the best of them. There's no doubt about it. When Spieth starts rolling the ball, he's one of the best in the world. But again, I think the driver is the Achilles heel, and that's something I think he's going to have to learn how to hit under the gun. Now, again, the last couple of weeks, he's in resort type of golf courses where it is a little wider out there. I don't think the rough was that gnarly at Pebble. I've seen it worse. Just like you mentioned, those guys are blowing it up the sixth hole, way up left on the left-hand side into that brown area because there's no grass. Now they got a perfect angle into that look. They don't have to play blind into the sixth hole. And I mean, Cantlay did it on Sunday also. So, look at, if you can hit it far enough up there and get in and hit the hard pan, it's a great angle to come into that hole.
Yeah, it was interesting listening to Fowler and those guys talk about it because they were a little peed off that those guys were doing it. But you know what? That's up to the course setup, and that's up, to the PGA Tour to make that a detriment to go up there. And I think you'll see that addressed next year.
Yeah. So getting back to the rules situation, I know that we brought it up in the opening, but I'm starting to get a little perturbed with the whole situation on the network, and I don't know if it's the producer, the director, or whoever's one. Anytime there's a rules situation, they're taking us off of golf, watching quality golf shots to watch balls being moved and stuff like that. Maybe because you and I are maybe a little old school, but is it me, or do these players really don't know what the rules are? Like, they're just relying on all of these officials to make rules. Now what's happening is the officials are coming out, making rulings, and they're actually finishing the hole. And then 4 holes later, they're coming back and say, I'm sorry, that wasn't the right rule because we looked at it 19 different directions on the monitor. And by the way, you got a 1-shot penalty. I'm just like, I think if a rules official comes out and they make a decision, the decision's been made. You can't come back 5 holes. That rules official and those players should know the rules flat out.
I get that, but that's not the way golf and sports are going now with replay. So what we're talking about, 2 of the things that were basically the same violation. And I forget which day it was on Maverick McNeely, who, by the way, will have a great conversation and finished second. But I think his was on Friday, maybe.
I think it was on Pebble Beach, so it was either Friday or Saturday.
Yeah, and it was on the par 3, is it the 5th hole?
On number 5. Behind the green, yeah.
His was an easy one. I mean, he set his club down, and after he grounded his club, the ball moved. That's easy. I mean, that's a penalty. Now, the deeper conversation that I've heard all the tour players going after is, why is this a penalty? And it's a good question. It's worthy of debate. I mean, because he just set his club down and the ball moves. I mean, it's not like that was an intended pass of trying to hit a shot, right? And in most cases, when you do that, you get a worse lie. So you already get screwed by getting a worse lie.
Yeah, and he put his club down and it didn't move, and then he went to go rest it, and he just touched the top of the grass. I think from my angle, right? I wasn't sitting there, and that's when it started to move. But he had to address the golf ball. He was in a position to hit a chip shot, so he had to address the golf ball. But like the Russell Knox one was in the middle of the fairway. You're on a fairway that's like this, and
but he clearly put his club down kind of hard.
But the official comes out, Berger's sitting right there, and they're talking about it, right? And he's sitting there going, well, this is what happened. And then all of a sudden the rules official goes, yep, you're absolutely right. All good to go. Yep, no. And Berger's actually going, okay, nothing against you, Russell. I just want to understand the rules a little bit more.
No, he did. He absolutely did.
So
he goes, what happened? Explain that to me.
So then all of a sudden he leaves, right? And he's on the first hole. And then going down 4 fairway, they're like, yeah, you get nailed for 1. Like,
yeah, it doesn't sit right.
What didn't the rules official understand when Russell Knox just explained the whole situation, right? And that's what it is. You're absolutely right. It's not rules officials making these decisions. It's cameras that are making these decisions.
Right.
And I just why do you have a rules official? Have the guys make all the decisions out there. And if you don't, throw it on the television and let me know what's going on 4 holes later,
Yeah, one of my beefs with it is there's such great golf. You've got Pebble Beach, all the great views, all the great shots, and all they do is plant the cameras, on the player and spend an inordinate amount of time in just hashing it out and hashing it out and hashing it out. It's like they love to have controversy. They want to have, I guess they think it must increase the ratings. But for me, it's like I'm going to the refrigerator, getting a cocktail, something. I'm getting my ass out there because I know they're going to just like they did the week before at Waste Management with, what was it, Hovland, Matthew Wolf?
No. That's a Torrey Pines. And, you had the whole Patrick Reed situation, which
it was Torrey.
That cloud's going to be over his head for the rest of his life. And then it is Hovland's behind the green on 14, and he's trying to figure out just how to place the golf ball. And it's just like, it's almost like they want to find another cheater. You know what I mean? It's just like they want to have another guy like Patrick Reed that can actually just, be another villain. Like it's what I didn't like is that they gave the guy, like, here's a guy that goes, this is what happened. They say, you're good to go. Go ahead and play the golf ball out. He hits it about 10 feet, almost makes birdie. And then 4 holes later, they said, well, we looked at it 19 different directions and, you get a 1-shot penalty. It just bugs me. Like, you made a decision, stick with it. It's done. Let the guy play the rest of his round.
And that was the final round too. I mean, granted, it was on number 2, but it was still
on 1. It was on 1 fairway.
Oh, was it on the first fairway?
Yeah.
Well, all right. We don't agree on everything, but I think we agree.
I don't. Yeah, look at we agree to disagree, but
not on this one. I'm with you on this one, John.
That wasn't the only negative thing that happened. We saw a disturbing thing on the 16th hole with Nate Lashley.
Yeah,
that was tough to watch. But again, it was a tough to watch, right? And it was a tough double bogey, and it cost it was like watching, there goes $100,000 and there goes $100,000 and there goes $100,000. But then the slamming of the putter in the middle of the green when you got another group behind you, like, it's not like, come on now. Like, I know you've had a tough go here the last year and a half with, your story and stuff, and I know it's frustrating, but I didn't.
Well, Nate Lashley has a tough story.
The guy's trying to build up his number, and he is just watching money and rankings just fly away in one hole. And I don't know if you ever played it, but that green's like this, and if you miss it right, you're done. So that means that pin up there, if you're going pin high to pin high, there's a lot of big breaks right there, and it's a tough putt. So
well, part of our discussions on a week to week or a podcast to podcast basis is people that do things that get them in either our doghouse or our house of fame. And I would say that Lashley, I just happen to have my club hat here. I would say that Lashley got a little bent out of shape on that hole, and he has been officially awarded the trunk slammer of the week.
Yeah.
Sorry, Nate. I know you got a tough story, but you know what? You let that 16 get the best of you. So better luck next time.
Right.
Try not to get too bent.
That was how about we just kind of slide into another one? That was an ugly hole to watch.
Yeah, it was a tough
and
pin.
So is Stuart Appleby. I mean, come on. I don't like the Spicoli look. He's got the straight. It looks like he just came off the beach surfing.
Terrible.
I mean, you're in a studio, look like a golfer. He doesn't look like a golfer. He talks like a golfer, but I don't know if he's got a fashion consultant, but he needs a little bit of a new look, because is that his new 50 look that he's going to play on the Champions Tour?
Well,
maybe it's good in a visor, but that was disturbing.
Susan and I were talking. Spicoli is the one I came up with first, but she mentioned, and now I kind of look at it, he's trying to look like Keith Urban. I mean, they're both from Australia. Maybe he's trying to be Keith Jr. Either way, hey, I am not, you and I both have faces for radio, but that's not a good look.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
I hear you.
Stuart, love you. Great 59 at the Greenbrier or whatever. No, you know what? He could have gotten the Trunk Slammer award had Lashley not have had a meltdown. Which Lashley's 4-putt reminds me of one of my favorite stories ever of Sevy's getting interviewed after a European event, and he's all bent out of shape, and guy gets his microphone, puts it right in Sevy's mouth. Sevy, how did you 4-putt that green? Sevy goes, I miss, I miss, I miss, I make.
Yeah,
4 putts.
yeah, yeah. Exactly.
We didn't talk about, and you can, because you know more about the young kid, but Maverick McNeely had a hell of a week.
Yeah, I mean, horses for courses, right? When you pretty much, I think it was from age 16 or whatever. I mean, he was up there like his whole teenage, playing golf. His dad had a place, I think, on the 5th hole or something like that. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, horses for courses. He played well. I think he had a top 5 last year there. So he loves the golf course. He loves the event. He knows it like the back of his hand. And hopefully this is like some momentum to keep him going. Good little player out of Stanford. Enjoying his time right now, dating Danielle Kang. So, yeah.
I'd say
he's
good
playing at
little
Riviera,
player.
and he could have another good week at Riviera. I mean, that's the kind of golf course he'd like too. So,
Well, I'd say good little player because he little player. He won 11 times. He won 11 collegiate events,
yeah.
tying Tiger Woods, some guy named Eldridge. He tied Tiger for 11 wins at Stanford. He was studying. He wasn't necessarily going to be on the PGA Tour or try. That wasn't an aspiration until he started winning all those collegiate events. And as you mentioned, he kind of grew up playing Pebble, but they had a great story on him over the weekend about how his father, who started or was one of the founding members of Sun Micro.
The micro, yeah.
Yeah, his dad wouldn't let him play until he turned 16, and that was his 16th birthday.
Yeah,
was to get to play Pebble. So it's kind of a fun little story.
Yeah, and I thought we'd actually see more out of him and Aaron Wise. These guys that had great college, college careers, but they've just been hit and miss here and there. So,
well, and then I wanted to give a shout out to a couple of my Palmetto Golf Club members. Scotty Brown made the cut and cashed a paycheck, and then Matthew Neesmith, who finished T for 7th for Waste Management, was actually leading after the first round. Had another good event and good weekend, and finished tied for 16th and made, I don't know, about 118 grand for last weekend. So give those boys a shout out. And Brownie or Kisner is not playing this week at Rivy, but Neesmith's playing again there. So
yeah, they're probably getting all ready for the Florida swing. So that's what they'll do. One of the I don't know how you feel about it. I think it's good. I think it's gonna be good for the LPGA Tour. But Annika coming back to play in a tournament. I think it's at her home club there at
Lake Nona,
Orlando, Lake Nona. So I think it's great. I'd love to see. I hope she does well because she hasn't laced them up in a while. But that's a nice little fun thing that's coming down the road here on the LPGA Tour. So that was a nice little announcement last week.
Yeah, I agree with you, Johnny. She played in not really an official tour thing, but she had at the bottom hole. She played in that Diamonds Resorts celebrity deal a couple, 2-3 weeks ago, and hit some good shots. She's an ambassador of the game. Loved her watch. I mean, she is an absolute trailblazer in golf and has done nothing but good things for golf. My understanding is that she is contemplating or she's testing her. Probably there's several reasons for her to play. She obviously lived at Lake Nona. And knows the golf course, but I think that she's trying to test the waters to see if she wants to play in the U.S. Senior Women's Open this year. So, she put family first after a great career, and now probably time for her to go out and step her toe in the water again. So it's cool to see. I agree with you. Good to see.
So the tour came out with a ruling here, and they're talking about rangefinders being allowed by the players. And
PGA of America.
Oh, sorry,
PGA of America. So, as a former member of the PGA of America, I want to just clarify that.
Yeah. So it's not the PGA Tour. The PGA of America and the PGA Tour, they don't like each other. So, but again, getting back to it, look, I've had the opportunity to caddy on all the tours, and look at these books are absolutely phenomenal. Okay. And there's been some caddies that have actually come out vocal and said, very rarely do we ever even say what it is to the pin. Okay. So like,
you're right.
Usually given a front distance, if you're carrying a bunker, they want that distance. And maybe you might give a pin distance of what it is, or how many yards or feet do you have off of that back of that bunker to the pin. They want to know what's behind the pin. Like how much, if I get aggressive, how much, space do I have beyond the pin? Like if they're going to, very rarely do you shoot the actual, a hole itself. It might help a little bit off the tee where you say, what's that bunker? And you can shoot it. But again, it's in the book. It's all in the book. Those books on the European Tour and on the PGA Tour are unbelievable. And that's, I think if you want to get creative, take the putting books away from them. That's
Right.
what slows it down. Take the putting books away from them. Let them just make them do the homework. I mean, when I was out there, the kind of homework that I had to do with my rangefinder to get the check the up and downs and all that kind of stuff, that's just part of being a caddy. You go out and do your homework, and maybe you're doing homework that the other guy isn't. That's going to take your player, above him. So I don't know. I think it'll slow things up. I think it's
Right.
stupid. Just let it go. And I don't know if that's the PGA of America trying to sell more rangefinders for their pros. I have no idea, but I'm not a big fan.
Well, I'll take the other side. I am a fan. You and I both play. You play in Southern California events and some national stuff. I play in Minnesota events and some national stuff. And I think the rangefinders are good for golf. Obviously, you've had a lot more experience caddying on a higher level than I have. I did caddy in the 1979 Quad Cities Open for an All-American from Ball State named Scott Steger. Still a friend of mine.
Yeah. Good old
I know you
Scotty.
caddied on probably every level. And what for Ryan O'Toole, you caddied a full season on the LPGA Tour?
Yeah, look, I just want to stop you there. I'm all for rangefinders for you and I playing golf. I'm not rangefinders for the tour to use.
Well, I knew where you're going, but I let
Yeah.
you talk for 10 minutes. Now give me a couple minutes, for God's
All
sake.
right. Well, word it right.
Well, I wasn't done. I mean, but I let
All
you
right.
go ahead and do all your work.
All right.
Now it's my turn.
It's yours. It's all yours there, Captain Bent.
All right. Thank you, sir. All right. Aye, Captain. I think if used the right way, it's good for everybody. I understand your viewpoint with the caddies, that they're all about front, middle, and back, and that it's not like they're walking up and using a rangefinder to hit, a certain point. But there are a lot of times when a tour player hits a shot way off, and now they have to walk off yardage or do something. So I do think it could be used in a healthy manner. There's no doubt about it. That's my telephone here.
Unbelievable.
I got sorry about
Right
that.
on cue.
Hey, they're probably calling to say, "Hey, Scotty, wait a second,
solicitor
trying to
for-
say something." Huh?
Unbelievable. Probably a solicitor.
Thought I'd turn the damn thing down. Anyway, so I think that I think the rangefinders are good, and the caddies, I respect their opinion. It's their living, and you got a point well taken in the front, middle, back. But I still think, it's going to be good in the long run.
All right.
I'm a fan.
At least somebody is. Here we go. Morikawa, not playing last week up in the Northern California area. He's a Cal guy, but I think he was probably a little jet lagged from his trip from Saudi Arabia and Dubai, and probably just decided to sleep on his $100 bills instead of going up and playing up in Northern California. So, but he is there this week at Riviera. So.
Well, he's not sleeping on a lot of $100 bills from his trip, unless he got a lot of promotional money because he played like shit. I mean, he didn't make very much money. He's not got
it's all appearance fees. You think he'd fly over there for no appearance fees? Yeah, of course he did.
Well, he played so. You notice the week after they played there, the oil prices went up, and so.
Okay.
They get you coming or going, but that's a big part of those guys going over there is the guaranteed cash they get, and I don't blame them. I don't blame them a bit.
Yeah.
Do they use rangefinders, John?
What's that?
Do those guys use rangefinders on the European Tour?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you caddied
even if they do hit in the desert, they don't use rangefinders.
So you've caddied for McGinley on probably 2 tours, right? Yeah.
2 tours, yeah.
Ryan O'Toole on the LPGA.
Yeah. And Nyan Choi on the LPGA.
Yeah. What about the old Nike Tour or whatever?
All-American out of Florida, a guy by the name of Pat Bates.
Oh, I've heard the name.
Yeah, good player. Yeah, he played with DeMarco on that Florida team. Good player.
God, there's a name.
In Oklahoma. Married Doug Toole's daughter.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Well, we can't. There's not much, but besides the Annika coming back, the ladies do come back this week, And actually next week, my bad. Ladies come back next week, and the seniors come back next week at the Cologuard down in Tucson. So I haven't seen much on the Champions Tour, not much to talk about. And the ladies tour, I think one of the good things is that you're seeing a lot of Americans up towards the top 10 and competing every week. And I think that's good for golf. Not that it's bad that the Koreans are great, but I think if you want to keep interest around the United States, you're going to have some of the courtest girls and or women play better, and they are playing better. So Danielle Kang, who you mentioned earlier, is dating McNeely. She's definitely playing very good.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Let's see. What do you want to talk about now? You want to go into? Should we hit this week's Riviera?
Yeah. So Riviera. 8 out of the top 10 players in the world are there. I think it's an unbelievable field. And Bryson's coming back from his trip over to Saudi Arabia also, and he's.
I think I heard that he tried to. I heard he. Pardon the interruption. I heard he tried to drive a golf ball from Saudi Arabia all the way back to the United States, and was just came.
Yeah, it didn't happen. So he says he's going to back it down a little bit. But he is trying to drive the 5th hole there, and Riviera to me is in my top 10. So I don't know if it could be in my top 5, to be honest with you. Yeah. And it's just when you get on that property, you just feel the history. And it's just a big golf course, and he's going to try to take it over this kind of, they've let a bunch of grass grow on the downslope of the 5th hole, and then they shave it again. And if he can take it up, and if he misses it left over all those trees, he's going to end up by the 16th green. And it's not a bad aggressive play, to be honest with you. If he misses it right, he's done, right? But he can fly it all the way down there, because a lot of guys hit like long irons and 3-woods off the hole. So because it is a little downhill, so it can get a little run out there. So I don't mind the play. I think it's gonna be great to watch. I hope he does it. But the golf course there is the back 9. I mean, I know that 4 is gonna give it to you at like 240. I think number 2 is just a solid, like, long par 4 that just slugs you right in the stomach. That's why they give you that easy par 5, number 1. Right. But I think the golf course is from 12 to 15 is just like 470, right. 470, 470. It's just,
I like, for me,
16, 12 to 16.
For me, I'll talk about one hole. Do I get one hole to talk about?
Yeah. It's all you.
10, the 10th hole.
It's awesome.
It was, they were talking to the guys on the Golf Channel today and arguing about what's the toughest par 4. Trip Eisenhower said, well, I don't think that's the toughest par 4, because I think it's par 5.
Yeah.
But it's, for me, when you talk about DeChambeau trying to drive 5, that's cool, whatever, blah, blah. But the 10th hole at Riviera is fun to watch, because virtually everyone in the field could drive it. And Rory was on talking about how that statistically you make a lower score if you do try and drive it. So it's fun. I think it's good to watch. It's fun spectator golf.
Yeah. And I got a great story if you want to hear it. It's a legendary story with Jeff Ogilvy. I don't know if I ever told you this story.
Okay, no, I'd love to hear it.
So Squirrel, who's, everybody's got a nickname out there. Squirrel's a caddy. He was with Ogilvy for 10 years or so. He won the Open with Ogilvy back in the day. And Jeff can't find it on the front 9. I think he taps in on 9 for like 40, and like you said, the 10th hole's drivable. So there's usually a group on the tee, and he comes up to Squirrel on the 9th green. He goes, hey, I'm not going to hit driver on 10. And we're going to hit 3-iron. And he goes, yeah. And Squirrel just like washes it away. No problem. Just let's go get a Snicker bar, whatever, granola bar. So as the guy's putting out on the 10th green, he takes Jeff over. He goes, Jeff, I need to talk to you. He's like, yeah, what's up? He goes, we need to hit driver here. And he goes, whoa. I just told you back on the 9th green that our plan is to switch to hit 3-iron. He goes, Jeff, look you can drive this green. We need to make eagle. The next hole's a par 5. We can reach that in 2. We need to get momentum going, because we need to throw like 3 or 4 under on the back 9 to get into the weekend, right? So he gets up, hits driver, never leaves the stick. I mean, it's right at it, but it goes in the bunker, and he looks right over at Squirrel, and he's like, we're okay there. We're okay there. So Jeff's not worried about it. He gets down to the green. The ball is plugged on the downslope. I mean, that green is like this.
Right.
Okay.
It's tough enough with a good lie of that bunker.
He looks at Squirrel and he goes, I am absolutely screwed here. Absolutely screwed. And he's like, you're a great bunker player. You can get this up and down. Over the green, back on, makes 5. And he's pissed. And all of a sudden, they're waiting for the group to go off 11, and the phone rings in his golf bag.
Ogilvy's golf bag?
No, in Ogilvy's bag, the phone rings.
Okay.
So he looks at Squirrel and goes, is that your phone? Because my phone's turned off.
That's because he's hot.
Squirrel answers the phone and goes, hello, yeah, yeah, okay, yeah, I'll be done in 3 hours. Oh, yeah. He's from England. I don't know how my accent is. Yeah, good. Great, grand. Okay, yeah, call me 3 hours. And Jeff's like, get off the phone. I just made bogey. I'm 5 over par. I'm going to get a penalty. Get off the phone. And he goes, okay, bye-bye. And all of a sudden he hangs up. And Ogilvy looks at him and goes, who was that? He goes, that was me mom. What the hell did she want? She wanted to know why you hit driver off 10. So that's like a legendary caddy story. He told Squirrel was caddying for KJ Choi, told me the story at Pebble Beach one year when I caddied for Paul, and I was just in stitches listening to it. So that's
I'd love to hear those stories. That was a good one.
Yeah. So but that's pretty much what I got for the whole entire week. I don't know if there's anything else left on your table that you want to discuss.
No, I think that was a great way to end our show. That was a funny story, and let's get more of those going. That was perfect, Johnny.
All right, buddy. Well, hey, always a great time to discuss golf with you, Scotty. You take care of yourself. Stay warm over there in the balmy Minnesota winter, and I look forward to talking to you again maybe next week.
Yep. Next week I'll be in Palm Springs, so we'll do our
coming
show
out to my state, are you? There you go.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Get out of this cold weather and chase the ball around a little bit with my buddies.
All right. Well, that's it for me. Scott, thanks so much for your time, and be good, everybody. Cheers.